Yeah, well,
I don't know.
Devontae wants to play me in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 as his Majin character. His Majin Buu character is a lot stronger than my Saiyan character because I've really played that game. And he grinded that game. And he's like level 100, but I'm like level like 60. So I'm like kind of scared.
All right, well, we're live. All right, so I'm live. It's oh my god,
You don't even 6:16 in the evening.
It's 6:16 p.m. Wednesday, December 1st. I'm live with my roommate Aaron.
Hello.
Say what's up.
What's up?
All right, so we are talking today about Overwatch and some thoughts that we have on Overwatch 2. So, Aaron, do you want to start with any questions that you might have on Overwatch?
Do you have specific favorites for each class, or do you have like one favorite?
I play a multitude of characters on Overwatch. I play a lot of support. My main support, as you know, is Mercy. That's my girl.
Mine too.
I yet to perfect the super jump with the girl.
I'm pretty good with Mercy, and as you know from the match we played this morning,
mm-hmm.
that was
you were doing pretty good as Mercy.
14,000 healing.
Almost there.
Wait, it was 18,000. 14,000 was the beginning of the round 3 when we had to collect that point to gain the win because it was tied. So 14,000 in the beginning, and then after that Reinhardt and Orisa kept pushing in, and that's why I gained so much because it kept pushing in.
But we didn't have proper tanking. I think like half the round I was like the only tank I was playing as Diva. I was surprised that I got triple kill.
You were good as Diva. I was holding you too. God. Remember that round when like you were Diva and like the whole team
everyone was targeting me, just coming for my life.
You, and it's just me just healing you while everyone is dead. It's basically a Mercy and a Diva versus an entire team.
An entire squad.
We got them though.
No, I think we ended up getting them destroyed. We got touched.
Half of them. Yeah, half of them before like the Bastion set up.
Bastions. Don't play Bastion. If you play Bastion, you're a salty person and you need to go get some help. No, I'm joking. I love you. I love all you.
I just don't really like Bastion.
So
he shoots too fast for my liking.
So who do you play?
Well,
who do you think Mercy, your best character is?
Roadhog.
Roadhog. I would think Roadhog too. You're pretty good with the hooks. Pretty good. Speaking on Overwatch, actually, hold on, because I just watched the video this morning.
Experimental.
Not even, but a lot of heroes are getting buffs. So now Roadhog, his whole hog ability, which is his ultimate, is now, if you face it towards the ground, you will start flying in the air.
I could just imagine Roadhog.
So you pop the ult and you just do, and then you're just going up.
It's also good too because you can like see everyone and see the tanks and stuff.
So wait, does that mean if you're in the air and you bring it up, it'll go backward?
Right? Like shit.
So like, what if I'm in the air and I have to look around and
move like up a little bit and you start flying back? You like fly off the map, or
you're like a little motorboat.
Like what if you like go up a little bit and start going back? You like go up all the way to push down. I feel like there could be a lot of problems with that.
Well, I think that's why they added it to the experimental. So that's what I was telling you earlier. The experimental card comes up when they add new buffs and debuffs for characters.
That was new to me. I did not see that before.
Yeah, so it's not always up there. It's only up there when they add new buffs and whatnot. Then it comes up because then you can play in that mode and you can play like a quick play with those buffs and whatnot. Who else is getting a buff? Mercy, my queen, is getting a buff. Her Valkyrie, it's not a big buff, but it's some love, and I'm okay with it. Mercy, her Valkyrie now, I think it recharges 3 seconds for every finishing blow you have on a character. So if you finish off an enemy, that's 3 second more charge time that you have in Valkyrie. So like if I want to attack you and I kill you, then that's 3 seconds more.
I feel like that's kind of like a useless buff because when people use Mercy, they like never use the gun unless like you're trying to like
unless you're using
Valk and you're in the air and no one can see you and you use a gun. That's different.
I know I tried it. I've been trying a lot more to be more aggressive with Valkyrie because you can, especially with this buff, that if you pick off like if you get your teammate to get them low and you finish them.
This morning, I took out my gun as Mercy and I just started shooting at the hamster ball. And
I saw that.
Reinhardt was helping me and I ended up getting out. I was like, yes, sir.
That plus right there with the Reinhardt, I think
and
our
then
last
I went
game
in like after
was really good.
Help me with when Arissa and Reinhardt went in and I went in as Mercy saying, you're my lifeline, guys. Sorry. Because they're both shield tanks, so they both have really good protect, especially Reinhardt. Reinhardt's tank.
Reinhardt tank is really good. Reinhardt Arissa is a really good shield tank. They're like
that's why I was happy when they got in the match, and then when they started pushing, when Reinhardt like did his charging move, and I went in after him, and then Arissa went in, and they both placed down shields, and then you came in, and then Junkrat came in. I did not like that Junkrat this morning though.
The Junkrat was kind of.
He kept going off on his own. Same with the Pharah.
Yeah, well, that's a Pharah's job. Pharah's out there supposed to like push him back. That's why he has the concussion grenade because you can hit it, and then if you get in a crowd, it disperses them out.
I use the concussion thing for like when there's like close to an edge, and I just want to be like
if you want to be a jerk and just boop them off. Yeah,
kind of like Lucio, the RB move, just the boop. I've done it to people before on the game, and they got pretty mad.
Lucio's getting another buff as well. Lucio is getting a buff where now if he uses his I forgot what his sound barrier, if you use sound barrier on top of another enemy player, it does damage. Before it didn't do any damage. So like if I'm on top of you and I come down and I stand, there's a good chance you might die.
What does that even do anyway?
His alt sound barrier, it gives the surrounding people, surrounding allies and his effective range shield.
Oh, so basically,
so it's like an overshield.
It's kind of like Baptiste with his immortality field, just like
sort of. If I were to relate it more, Brigitte. So Brigitte, her healing. What makes her a healer is that if your allies are low on health, they gain health if you throw the armor pack. But if they're already full on health, they gain an arm. They gain I think a shield. Not a lot. I'm not 100%. FY, I don't want no one quoting me on the percentage of what the accurate number is for like shields and whatnot.
The worst enemy, in my opinion, though, for Mercy is the turret. The turrets always.
Turrets, especially in your Valkyrie.
Right?
Turrets are your worst enemy. They do not do you justice in any way, shape, or form.
And if no one sees it, you're screwed.
Yes.
If no one sees the turret and you do, and you're Mercy, your pistol's not doing a lot.
No. You're getting lazy.
You're
who I hate?
Battle.
Symmetra. I hate Symmetra. Her gun. So
I like Symmetra. I just don't like being killed by Symmetra because her turrets. When people spam the 3 turrets and then like put them like places where like you won't see, it kind of takes me off. But then again, it's a smart play.
Symmetra's good on defense. Like if you're playing like
I don't think. I played Symmetra like twice and like I kept dying and I was like, screw this. Just like I try to experiment with characters and like if I'm not doing good with them like at all, I try to change to a different one. That's why you'll see me change different characters multiple times throughout the game. I try different characters, see which one lets me, try to gain the advantage. That's why I tried Roadhog. That's why I'm so good with Roadhog because he's simple. He hooks, shoots. Oh, you get damage, heal.
So with Roadhog, there's a way to kill a lot of squishies in one tap with the hook. You want to hook them and then you want to use your secondary fire, and I believe you want to punch them. It's either the hook, secondary fire, punch, or it's hook then punch when you get to them because the hook itself does damage upon the grab.
When I hook them, I always aim for the head with the gun just so I could do it because I love it when I do it. I love doing it to tanks like Reinhardt because I've heard people like scream, "This Roadhog is being an asshole," because like I just hooked them and shot them, and I'm like, "Well, you're Reinhardt. You pin people against the wall and like technically like put them in a corner and just hammer them to death."
So I will say, as a Roadhog, when you use your hook, you want to save your hook for a lot of the squishies. You want to pull those people. You want to save
your hook for like the weakest. Like,
you want to pull in like the Symmetras, the Lucios, the damages, and some of the support. Take them out. Just like a seal tank job is to be more defensive.
Can only do so much against like the whole team, So like if you take out all the lower characters, like the weaker characters, and it's just tanks there, they can only do so much because it's the whole team versus tanks. And you've seen how fast you can get out of like Diva's mech. Like you can be gone out of it within like a second because everyone's just shooting at you at the exact same time.
That's because Diva got a major nerf like last year, where now her mech does not have as much shielding as it used to. But now her mech when you call in her mech,
I feel like her self-destruct does a lot less damage now too. Because when I go in, I feel like Reinhardt isn't protecting everyone in that like specific place. Like the play you did this morning with Diva, when you went in and you self-destructed and got all those people, Reinhardt didn't die, obviously, because he had the shield up. That I get. But when he's not protecting everyone and those people don't die too, that kind of gets me angry. And I feel like they nerfed her self-destruct.
Well, that's because, okay. So I will say that I was surprised, first of all, when I got that kill. I wasn't expecting to get anybody with that because Symmetra's barrier was up.
Yeah.
But I placed it by accident. It was totally by accident. I placed it in between. No, I pressed Y purposely, but I placed it when I self-destructed. It was placed between her barrier, like in the middle of her barrier. So no matter which side you were on, if you weren't protected by a shield, you were going to get killed.
Yeah.
And that was totally by accident. When I saw the play of the game, I watched it. And I'm like, oh, well, what do you know? I killed 3 people.
I saw you getting low on health, so I tried rushing in for you to try to help you out. Like, obviously, like a good Mercy would, because not a lot of people play Mercy good. You have to know Mercy if you want to play her. You have to, like, be, like, cautious of, like, where the enemies are, because if you lose sight of an enemy, you're screwed, because Mercy only has 200 health.
You kind of want to pick and choose where you go and make sure you got to prioritize.
You want to see where the enemies are before you press LB to go into that match. Like when we were defending like the last point, and Reinhardt put a shield on and Russell put her shield on, and we were getting dying like a lot. I pressed Valk. And then I did it a lot. Like I held it there, and then it kept going around. And I remember getting a lot of revives too.
So I will say this is just me coming from like a Mercy, me being able to play Mercy. I have like over 100 something hours with the girl. I just will say that you gotta prioritize who you heal, who you res, when to go in.
I'm kind of go for like tanks and like strong DPS like Reaper and Junkrat. Like with Junkrat, he has low damage, but his Riptire and like his bombs, like if you know how to place them correctly and like know when to self-destruct the Riptire, you're pretty much you're good.
So I will say that back on Mercy is when I prioritize depending on, so I have a way of picking and choosing who I heal, who I damage buff. I try to heal my tanks more than I damage buff them because you want to keep them alive. The goal is your tanks are your. I feel like without the tanks, you're not really gonna do a lot of damage, even if you have a lot of DPS.
Even if all your team is DPS, you're not gonna do a lot against like 3 tanks.
They're not gonna. Yeah, it's not really much. So with Mercy, you want to kind of keep them alive. And if I'm playing with tanks,
and if all of them have like full health and they're all coming at you, you can do a damage buff, but as soon as all of them start losing health, that's when you want to switch to your healing and be like, I'll help them out and like heal them.
So I only choose for tank, I'm gonna say who I damage buff for tanks. I will only damage buff Orisa, Roadhog, Zarya.
I have been buffed with Roadhog from you.
I try not to damage buff Reinhardt's only if I find out they play really aggressive, more aggressive than they are defensive, and they're doing really good and they're getting kills without my help, then I'll try to prioritize damage buffing them because then they can get in there. DPS wise, almost all DPS is getting that sweet damage buff. So like Reaper is really good
against damage, especially against Roadhog. Because I've had numerous times where I thought I could win against a Reaper when I was Roadhog, just for him to like phase last second when I went to throw the hook and then him absolutely just destroying me.
So with healers, the way I think about Overwatch is pretty simple actually. Tank's job, keep DPS alive. DPS's job, get in there and take out the tanks. Support job, keep everyone alive. Make sure your team is good. Damage buff when you need to. Learn to switch when you learn to back up. Like if I'm playing support and I'm going in with somebody and they're going in and they're just taking a massive amount of damage and not falling back at all,
Yeah.
I'm just
I'm
gonna
not gonna
I'm
help
gonna
them.
leave. I'm gonna back out and regroup with the rest of my team.
Yeah.
But if there's a Reaper that's going in
because your
alone,
Mercy, there's only so much you could do.
yeah, you can't do much as a
you only
Mercy.
have 200 health. See, if you were Baptiste, it would be different because you have the immortality field. You can heal yourself, and he has a good gun.
Well, even as Baptiste, you know,
And if you heal yourself, you surround the people. You heal the people around you. Like when me and you were playing, when me and you were support, because no one else would be support.
Mhm.
I remember you were healing people and you were about to die, and then I pressed a button and then you healed up and I placed my immortality field and everyone just went in and just killed the team, and that's how we
So
won.
I know her. I think his biotic grasp, I think it's called, when he does his doom and then the thing comes out. Not the immortality field, but his other
his
ability.
ult?
Nope, that's his not defense matrix. Is it called the defense matrix?
I think so.
I think it is called the defense matrix.
People shoot through it.
Yeah.
It does like more damage.
No, you know, I think it's the RB ability where he closes his fist and then healing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he heals them.
that's switching. So now what it'll do is it will do damage instead of healing.
Oh, no. So he's not even going to be like a healer anymore.
He's gonna be a healer. His biotic grenade, the one that you shoot that heals people.
Yeah.
That and so right as it stands right now, it doesn't heal you. It won't heal you, but it'll heal other people, your allies. It's gonna change, so it's gonna heal you and other allies, and he'll still have his immortality field.
But the thing will just
But
do damage.
the biotic grass is gonna do damage instead of healing.
That's kind of going to throw me off because I do that mostly. I don't really press LT because I press RT when you shoot because I'm so used to RT when you shoot
Mhm.
that when you press LT, it kind of throws me off.
But Baptiste is a weird character. They just made Moira a little weirder because now, so you know how she has two different abilities where she has the healing and then the damage, right? So you know how when you heal with Moira, if you don't have enough of the bar stats that it doesn't heal.
Yeah.
What it's gonna do and what's gonna happen now is it's gonna take life out of your health if you use it. So now as it stands, when you use her, I forgot what it's called, her healing ability. What it does right now is you have that bar on the side of in the middle of your screen that kind of goes down when you use it. It will stop when it's empty. What it's gonna happen now is you can still use it, but it will chip away your health and it can't kill you.
You can heal other characters just at the cost of your own life.
No, you'll still have that bar, but when that bar is empty, it's gonna
that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
You're healing people, and as soon as the bar goes off, you can still heal people. It's just gonna depend on your life.
Yes. So if you're at like 1 health and you want to heal somebody, bitch, well, sacrifice yourself. What else is new? Zenyatta's getting a
Zenyatta is he's an okay character. I remember one time, it was like my second time playing as him. You were there. It was like my second time playing. No, it was like my third day playing Overwatch in general, and I was playing Zenyatta. And you're like, Aaron, press Y. And I pressed Y, and I went in as Zenyatta, and I did the whole thing. You didn't even tell me to. I just pressed Y, and I went in, and you're like...
That was on the Temple of Anubis. I remember that. We went straight down the middle with our Zenyatta. Aaron was playing Zenyatta. He pressed Y. We went straight down the middle, and we were able to capture the point. I think that was one of the most smoothest plays as a Zenyatta I've ever seen, because it worked so smoothly. They're like, everyone went in.
Shot at me either.
Everyone went in, because as a Zenyatta, you're the only one who's really invulnerable to attack.
Yeah.
But they're making the buff now, whereas Zenyatta, when he uses his Transcendence, damage orbs go. If enemies are in the Transcendence area, the damage orb is going to appear on them. So right now he has the healing Orb of Harmony, which heals allies, and Orb of Discord, which damages that does damage buffs to enemies.
I think the creators thought that the healers weren't doing enough damage because people were getting pretty upset that the fact that the healers won't do damage because, they're fucking healers and they can't do a lot.
People are upset that healers can't do damage, but I mean, if you look at the name, it's called support.
But yet, if we don't heal them, they also get mad at us. Because I'm mostly main support and tank. I rarely play DPS because everyone plays DPS, and I always want to be that person that's either gonna be that one tank or that one support to try to help the team get on the edge. And you know that I never play DPS.
You're not a DPS player. And I only play. I suck at tank. I will say I am doo-doo water when it comes to tank. There are occasional matches like this morning where I'll do really good and I can actually pull some stuff off.
Pretty good because I'm gonna Mercy and I know what I'm doing. But some people doesn't know what they're doing. There was a certain time where like one person was a Mercy, the other person was Mora, and the Mora wasn't doing anything. The Mora kept doing damage and not healing, and the Mercy was like, "I can only do so much by myself, Mora. I need you to do."
Well, too. Just because a person plays support doesn't mean that they are support players.
Yeah,
if they're used to playing,
I feel like if you're gonna play support, you should at least try to do some support.
Yes, but sometimes, like, think about it. If you're playing DPS, right, and we're playing tank and we're playing a game together, right, me, you, and we'll say one other person, and they're playing support with me. Me personally, if I'm playing Mercy, I will tell my other support, like, go ahead. If you want to be a damage support, go ahead, because I feel confident enough to solo heal my teammates.
But I feel like because the Mercy had a mic, and the Mercy was like, Mara, I really need your help to heal this team. She wasn't saying, "Oh, I got this. You can go off. You can go off on your own." She was like, "No, I need help," and the Mara wasn't doing anything.
Sometimes you get people who get DPS who think they're supports and think that it's Overwatch is a community in which
you have to communicate.
It's a very communicative game, and you need to the chances of you winning really depend on if you're communicating with your teammate or not. Because I've had multiple games where I'm playing as Mercy, and I'm over in the corner getting attacked by 15 different people. That's I'm being exaggerating, by the way, but like 15 different people.
Like 6 people on each team. And you said 15.
I know I was over exaggerating.
I know.
But
I remember that game. You were like in the corners, Mercy screaming, and like 3 tanks were like at you. It was
if you don't
Roadhog, Diva, and Orisa all shooting at you, and you're in the corners screaming.
If you don't let your team know that you're getting attacked, then they don't know unless they look over. And by the time you get some people that look over,
unless you Mercy, because you know when people are critical health.
Yeah, because you after a while playing Mercy, you get to see how many you get. If you don't break, if you don't. Yeah, thank you. You done? You sir? If you play Mercy, after a certain amount of hours, I feel like you learn to really keep an eye out for that critical. And then not even that, you want to make sure.
You're much more aware of your teammates' health when you're Mercy. Because obviously, your support, you want to help them. You want to win the game. You don't want to lose the game because you start losing points and then you'll be at the bottom. You want bronze, you want silver, and then you'll just be stuck in a place where you can't even play a game.
Yeah, and no one wants that. No one wants that. You want to be able to like play. That's why I used to play only row queue. And then I switched to open queue. And I found that open queue was a lot better because then the benefits of open queue is that if somebody's playing something and they don't know how to play it, they can switch. Not that they're going to, because you got a lot of DPS out here who just play one thing and they're like, oh my God, I'm just going to play this. And that's all I know.
You got the one trick out there. You can switch your character, but it just has to be in the same category.
Yes, if you're playing tank, then if you choose tank role in a row queue match, you're stuck with tank. You can choose a different tank, but you're just stuck in tank.
Like if you choose Roadhog and you don't like Roadhog, you want to be Reaper, you're out of luck. You have to be either Diva, Sigma, Wrecking Ball, the whole shebang.
So let me ask you, if you were to play, what's your ideal team comp? If you play 6-5, you're playing pick character. We'll say you're playing Roadhog, right? What is your ideal team comp? Who do you want? What other 4 or 5 people do you want on your team?
I definitely want a shield tank with me.
Okay, so what shield tank would you want? Reinhardt, Sigma,
feel like all Reinhardts
Orisa
are a little too aggressive when Orisa kind of stays back because she also has that hardened ability and a gun. Reinhardt has a hammer. So you have to be aggressive with him, otherwise you're just going to get mowed down.
Well, so
kind of.
Not necessarily.
RB attack where he throws it, that's helpful, and his Y attack is also good. But you kind of have to, time them correctly.
With Ryan, if you look at Ryan's attack, right, he has a very large radius of swing.
Yeah.
So you think about the character you're playing. You don't necessarily have to be aggressive. That's considered crowd control. Yeah, you want to get in there, swing your hammer, make sure people stay away from you. So, like, if I'm playing Reinhardt and you're playing Mercy, I want to keep my shield up to take that damage. But the second people like May, or not even May, like Symmetra, or Soldier or Reapers are coming in, I want to swing my hammer because if you're healing me, I'm not worried about taking too much damage because I still have my shield and I want to make sure the hammer kind of keeps them at bay.
I'm healing someone and their health keeps going down and up. I'm like, crap, there's only so much I can do. I'm sorry. I see other people critical. I gotta go.
So if I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, that the healing goes up depending on how long you have the beam attached to them.
Yeah, like I had my beam attached to a wrist like for 10 seconds, and it like kept going down. Like,
I believe the healing goes up. I believe every 3 seconds you have a connected healing stream on them. I could be mistaken. Don't quote me on that. So who do you want on your team if you're playing Roadhog?
So definitely a shield tank.
So who would you? Orisa?
I'd prefer Orisa.
Okay, so Orisa. So 2 TPS, who would you want?
Definitely Junkrat and Reaper.
Junkrat and Reaper, okay, and then your support.
Because they're flank characters.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll call Junkrat like sometimes Junkrat's hard to use because people like love to go in and get kills with Junkrat because they find it satisfying. I found it satisfying at first when I got kills with him.
Mm-hmm.
But Junkrat is pretty bad at health.
Junkrat, a lot of people, and I feel like it's one of the most obvious things out there. Junkrat is not really, I wouldn't per se, he's a flank. He is a damage. And you want
big damage.
His grenades have 3 bounces before they explode, and you can do a lot with that if you know how to angle it. Yes, ricochet is like the idea of Junkrat. Like, you want to
sometimes if like I choose Junkrat like on a rare occasion if I play DPS and I play Junkrat. I remember one time I went on a whole like spree being like, I want to play Junkrat. I want to know how to play Junkrat in case we need to get the advantage. And I remember going to the other side of the map to where it was the payload one where like they had to move the car, and the doors open, and I immediately shot the I showed you it on my clips on my Xbox app where like the doors open and they waited a few seconds, and I just kept shooting the bombs and I threw mines and I got a team kill because the people were helping me and I did most of the damage because obviously Junkrat's bombs explode on impact, and when they explode on impact, they also damage around people. I wish that there was fire damage with the bombs too, because obviously when bombs explode, there's going to be fire. I kind of wish they added that.
There's a radius impact
because that would be way too OP.
It's more. I wouldn't say more fire. It's more of a radius impact. So like if you're near the bomb and you explode the mine,
I feel like you should like blow away from that.
Well, that's what happens. If you say you're right next to the mine, but you're not on top of it, if I were to trigger, you are going to bounce up and back. Yeah. You're not going to go forward. I
wish, like, I'm talking about, like, his gun. Like, his cannon. Like, I wish that if you shot that, it did fire damage. Because when bombs explode, there's going to be fire.
Yeah, but, I mean,
I see why they didn't, because it would be way too OP, and everyone would choose Junkrat.
So, I'm not sure if you knew, but Junkrat's Riptire can climb walls.
Oh, I know.
And you can do a shit ton of damage and a shit ton of, kill a lot of people with the Riptire. And I feel I hear a lot of people call Junkrat a spam character. And I
see why.
I can get that. But not everyone that plays Junkrat just spams the character.
Sometimes I get hit 5 times with the Junkrat bomb. I'm like, oh my God.
So I will say when I'm playing Tempest and Temple of Anubis on that map, down that middle on the defense, down that middle is a good way to just spam grenades, especially if they have a shield tank.
Especially mines too. You could just throw it over.
So I use the mines more for height advantage. So if I want to get to a higher advantage, I'll throw the mine down and get further.
With Junkrat's gun, it's good to getting past shields because you can, like you said, ricochet the bombs over the shield, bounce it off the wall, and come back and hit the people.
Mm-hmm.
They won't be ready for that.
Which is
they could be if they see you at first, which is why you kind of have to be stealthy. But it's kind of hard because you have a whole bar that lights up above your head, and if you peek out of a corner just a little bit, they're gonna see that, and then they're just gonna go after you.
So we have Roadhog, Orisa, Reaper, Junkrat. What about your support? What's your support looking like?
Mercy.
Definitely. Mercy. Okay, everyone loves a Mercy.
I feel like Baptiste.
Yeah. More Mercy Baptiste combo for a support. If you got the right people playing their characters really well, then yes, Mercy and Baptiste can work very well together. Like
me and you.
Yes.
I remember one time me and you played a couple of rounds as Baptiste and Mercy.
The combination that played well.
We
were doing really good.
I think I got gold kills with Baptiste too.
What do you think your highest kills? How many kills do you think you? What do you think your highest amount of kills in one game is? We'll say your best character, Roadhog. What do you think your?
I played a match before.
Mm.
I mean, it was Roku, and I was just starting, so they put me with beginners too.
Mm.
I think since I was like better with Roadhog because I knew what I was doing, my highest was 39 kills.
39 kills as a Roadhog. That seems a little high, don't you think? 39. That's like higher than average.
Going off because they're all shooting at me, and they were all like DPS. They had no tanks, and they had like rarely no support. So they were just basically going off DPS, and that's how I was able to get so much kills because Roadhog, his hook and shoot combo against a DPS character that doesn't do a lot of damage, like let's say Symmetra or Lucio or Mercy, that combo does a lot of damage, and sometimes it even kills them. Like Mercy, I've done that with Mercy, I've done that with Symmetra, I've done that with Lucio. I've done it with Reinhardt before, but that's because he had low health. So I always wait for the tanks to have low health before I hook them and shoot them. Because if I go in and shoot them right then, and it's a Reinhardt, he's just going to immediately pin me if he has that move. And that's why I don't do that. Because, like, let's say the Roadhog's hook is also good for other stuff, too. Because you can hook D.Va's ult away. I've done that before. There's been a time where the enemy team did a D.Va ult, and I had to hook it away, and I basically saved the fucking team. I just hooked it away. And, I'm not sure if that was with you or not. I don't remember who I was playing with. But, it was pretty good. How about you? What would your be?
My team comp, let's say, am I playing support or DPS? Because
your best character.
Mercy. Okay. My support, I feel very confident playing Mercy. So I would say that I think I like, depending on the match, if it's one of my best days, I would say a very aggressive. I want an aggressive attack, another aggressive support.
Trial of Anubis is a good map kind of for the Mercy healing because like it's kind of spread out in close range, and if you have good tank shield, like shield tanks, you can just hide behind the shield with like the first checkpoint that you have to get.
Well, I mean, personally, I feel like Mercy is good anywhere.
Yeah,
Mercy is
good anywhere if you know what you're doing.
You just need to, like I said, Mercy is, I will say, useless without her team.
Yeah,
her whole concept is being able to move from one teammate to the other and being able to heal them off, damage buff them, and being able to give them the best chance. The advantage. And if you're out there and you're just by yourself, you're not going to be able to do much. So I will say for me, Mercy, my other support, I will say either Baptiste or Moira. My attack is definitely Junkrat and Reaper because that's literally the best you can do.
I was stuck between either Junkrat or Soldier.
So if we
Soldier, you can get some nice kills. You can get a nice streak with Soldier. It's just kind of hard because sometimes if your rocket ability goes out and your a healing ability goes out, there's only so much your gun could do against like a tank. You know?
Well, so if you're playing against Shield Tank with Soldier, you got to think about it like this. You don't want to particularly target the tank itself, but more of the shield. You want to break the shield.
A tank is on your point, and that's the only person there. And like you're a soldier, and you're also the last person there. I feel like
you play from range.
That's what I was trying to say. You're gonna try to play from range, but if they stay on the point's gonna keep going up.
Yeah, if you
don't have the rocket ability, like I said, you still have the running ability, so you could run in there, stop the checkpoint real quick, and like hide. And
so at that point, if you're playing Soldier or anybody at that point, and there's just and you're 1v1ing somebody and you're not on the point defending, then I think in general, if you're not gonna try to contest the point, then you need to back up and regroup with your team. It's just not a matter of staying there trying to fight them off.
I always try to contest the point because I'm very competitive when it comes to that game. But like I feel like I played a lot of games where like as soon as the other team starts getting on the point, my team just dips off that point, and that just really ticks me off because I'm like, no, get on the point. Don't let them win. Why are you? Because there could be one person on the point, and then my whole team just dips.
Well, if you're by, so I think about it like this: if you're by yourself and you're 1v1, and the only reason you should ever contest a point with somebody that you think you're not going to win against is if it's overtime. That's the only, for me, is the only acceptable time you should be contesting. If it's either the last click of the point or it's overtime.
Yeah.
Otherwise, fall back with your team, regroup with your team, and then push another again. Because a lot of problem that you'll see with people in Overwatch is that they trickle in by themselves.
Yeah.
They'll go out together as a team. They'll start dying one by one, and then they'll start going in by themselves. Then the whole team competition just goes out the window. The game is a team. It's a team game. It's a team communicative game. You need to be able to talk to your team. You need to be able to tell if someone's flanking you, if you're gonna push, if you're gonna defend. You need to be able to let your team know, because if you don't, like I said, you're not gonna be able to do much. So going back to what my team comp would be,
that's also why there's that choice where if you press down on the D-pad, and there's a group up with me option there.
Yeah, like if you can't talk on the mic, use the communicative wheel. You have that for a reason. And they just updated in, I think, about a year ago, where you can customize to say fall back, sorry, no, stuff like that, where you can literally have a whole sentence. And they just added the chat.
Also text in chat too.
Yeah, in-game chat. They just added that. So, I mean, do I think that's the smartest thing that Blizzard could have done? No, because that just added more toxicity to the game, as we all know, because it definitely gets there.
Well, it's also better than nothing, because some teammates would actually talk to the team.
Well, I played before they added the team chat, and I think it was better, honestly, because you didn't get it. I get distracted easily. So if something comes up, my eyes is going from this to like, oh, okay, what did the person just say? I'm not trying. And if it's something negative, I'm just like, okay, well, I just wasted like 30 seconds of eye contact from the game to look at this. And that may be just poor eye coordination, but it happened when you have ADHD.
And another toxic person. I'm not saying all the people who play this character are toxic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying that people who do this are just annoying. When the match starts and she puts up the wall at the start.
That's been going around since she got dropped, bro. She puts up the wall, and you already know how the game is gonna go when the mage just puts up the wall. It's like, oh, okay, well, I already know how this is gonna go.
This game is screwed because we have a toxic player on our team.
And
it's always that the toxic May always goes off on her own too. She always tries to solo the team, and that's what gets her to always die. And that's why people always call it trash, because people decide to be toxic with her and try to go off with her. And I'm not saying all people who play May are toxic.
No,
please don't quote me on that. But I feel like people who are trying to dick around and be like, haha, our team is gonna be bad, and so I'm just gonna screw them over in the beginning, so that way the enemies get the point first. That's just really annoying and just really uncalled for, and I don't get why people do that.
It doesn't make a shit ton of sense. But going back to my team composition, Mercy, Moira Baptiste, Junkrat, Reaper, and then my tank. I personally love the double shield tank combo, only because they added Sigma. Okay, people be sleeping on Sigma. Sigma shield with an Orisa or with a Reinhardt. Bro, you essentially have played right and tossing that shield out right and communicating with your Reinhardt. You don't have to communicate with the rest of your team.
And not only does the Sigma have a shield, he can also push out the shield as far as he wants.
So once again, we're gonna use Tempo of Anubis as an example. When you're defending on Tempo of Anubis on the first
hallway, yes, you can just.
Not the first hallway, but the very first point on the defense, when that little arc where they roam on the right and the left where they can go in.
You can just put a shield on that side, and then Orisa can put a shield in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
That way,
So the best tactic that I've learned to play with a Sigma and Orisa, or a Sigma and a Reinhardt, is have the Orisa or the Reinhardt place their shield first. And then when the shield starts getting cracked, first of all, it's better with Orisa because Orisa's shield recharge rate is a lot faster.
Yeah.
Have Orisa place her shield down first. And then when that starts taking damage to the point where it's going to break, have Sigma place his shield down.
Yeah.
And yes, Sigma's shield doesn't last very long, but it's enough time for the other shield tank to have their shield ready, especially Arista, because of recharge.
Or enough time for our team to fall back, think of a new idea. That should be enough time for Arista and Sigma to have their shield back. One can place it there, one place, like in the arc. Like, you know how people sometimes go in from the left and like, try to go through that door? Sigma can place his shield there and just watch people there, because he also has that move where like he does like the black hole and like no bullets do damage. So you can do that, and then obviously your attacks go through the shield too. So you can just throw rockets,
but you got
possibly kill like a Symmetra or something. That's
you do got to think about it that once again, Sigma's shield alone is not as powerful by itself. That's why I only say that you want to use his shield with another shield tank if you're gonna play him, because unless you're playing aggressive, I figured out that his shield tank. So that tactic is it's good. It's just by itself. If you're trying to go alone with Sigma and place his shield over there and then stay over there with the shield and try to take out people, his orb don't do a lot of damage by themselves. So the chances of you getting in there, and yes, you have accretion, and then you also have that other move where it absorbs and projectiles. It can only get you so far. If
every character can only get you so far.
But once again, it just comes down to communicating with your team and working as a team. If you're not working as a team, you're not gonna go far. Your chances of winning the game just go down a bit. So I do suggest, if you don't like playing team games and you don't like talking to people and you don't like communicating, and even if you have a communication wheel and you don't like using that either, I don't suggest you play Overwatch. It's just not the game for you. I'm sorry to say.
I think my favorite character now is Mercy, because I've been playing a lot more Mercy than Roadhog lately.
I'm not going to lie. You're not going to take my Mercy from me.
I wasn't trying to. But sometimes, like, if you don't choose Mercy at first, because I know how, like, sometimes you wait to see what people choose so you can choose. It sometimes, like, if people don't choose, like,
yeah, but then I get stuck with tank because everyone's picking DPS, and you chose my only best Mercy. You chose my best support, so that I'm stuck with playing tank because ain't nobody want to play tank.
You're good at Baptiste.
I'm okay with Baptiste. If you want to win games, give me Mercy. That's all I gotta say. If you want a better chance of winning games, give me Mercy.
I wasn't trying to, set a competition for who's the better Mercy.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
I get it. You're really good with Mercy. You've gotten tons of wins with Mercy.
I'm just saying that if you want
hours upon hours with her, I'm just saying.
No, you are a good Mercy, and I'm not saying that you can't play Mercy or that I just want her altogether to myself. I'm just saying that if there's a good chance you want to win, don't give me tank. And if you really want a better chance at healing, give me. If
I know my Mercy is not doing enough, obviously I'll switch to tank so you can switch to support.
Being able to communicate is key. If you don't do that, then you're just.
It's also a good thing, since me and you live together. We can talk across the room, and we have that communication.
Yeah, I have to yell across the room. What? They're over to the left. My left or your left? Your left.
But that's the thing. We're still communicating.
Yes. So, like I said, it just comes down to communicating. What do you think? How much news have you heard on Overwatch 2?
Not a lot.
Not a lot?
I do have a couple things I did want to say about it. I think the campaign is going to be chapters of each character in Overwatch 1.
You think it's going to be a chapter for each character?
Kind of like Mortal Kombat, how each chapter you play as a different character.
Yeah, but Mortal Kombat, there's a lot less characters in Mortal Kombat than there is.
But Overwatch 2 is such like a popular game. I feel like if they wanted to include all the characters from the first one, they would do that.
So you watched the cinematics, right? There's a whole lore behind them. I think the game is gonna.
I think they're gonna take the animations and finally bring them into context. And you're going to, because the Bastion one, that I watched that one and I kind of got confused, because at first he was like a bird. He was a robot. He saw a bird, blah, blah, blah. He was walking. He saw something happen. Obviously, he triggered fight mode. Remember? In the middle of the he started shooting. And it turns out he was in a war with, what Winston said in the beginning, the Omnitrix or whatever.
The Omni.
I forgot. I don't know.
He said the Omnitrix. Say Ben 10.
Ben 10. Yeah,
Omnix. So what happened there is Bastion is an Omnic. He is a Bastion model, which is basically the model that he is, a robot that can turn into a turret. And he was shut down. He was shut down. So when he was in the woods and he saw the woodpecker knocking on the tree, it triggered a memory as if he was still in war. And then when he went out into the field, he uploaded the memory of the robot to see what happened, and then it just triggered him it just acted like he was to go back. His best friend is that bird. That bird is his best friend.
I have that skin equipped for Bastion too. The bird one.
I'm not gonna lie. I highly dislike that skin.
I like that one because it's
my favorite skin for Bastion is Lego. I don't have a lot
of skins for Bastion because I don't play the game.
Is Lego.
Huh?
Is Lego. I'm not gonna lie. So my first golden gun was for Bastion, and I'm gonna say right now, before anyone comes at my life, that it wasn't for the fact that I played Bastion. It's because I hated Bastion so much that if I played Bastion and they saw that I have a golden gun, it's like, you play Bastion? No, I just want you to think I do. Okay, I don't play Bastion. Like
You're trying to trick them.
Yeah, like why? Ew, you have a Bastion for gold. You have a golden gun for Bastion. Why? Why not?
And then you'll trick the enemy team like, oh crap, he's pretty good with Bastion. I'm gonna leave.
I am not a particular Bastion main. A lot of people out here be like, oh, Bastion's super easy. Bastion can do this. Bastion is a salty character. Does not make him an easy character.
He's easy if you do the turn and you stay in one place and you're behind a shield and you just shoot in one place where all the characters are coming. Yes, that part is easy. But when it comes to like in battle mode where you have to move around, I feel like that's where his downfall is.
A lot of typical Bastions will hide behind a shield tank.
Yeah.
I like to play around the corner. So I will set up somewhere literally that's the most inconvenient spot for the rest of the enemy team. Tempo Anubis example. You know that high left right above on the left side from on the defense, right up top?
I remember, yeah. And
teleport right up there.
I was hiding in the corner when you come out. You know how if you're defending, you spawn behind it, and you know how if you're attacking, you have to go. If you want to catch your enemy by surprise, you have to go through that room and like go through the door to get through the other checkpoint. I was hiding in that corner one time as Bastion, and you told our friend, which I'm not gonna say because it's a podcast, unless I get his permission. But I remember our friend put down a shield, and I was just staying in that one place where if people came in the door, I would just shoot them to catch them by surprise, and then I would move because I would hear you go like, "Oh, Bastion, we need your help," and then I would turn and just shoot like the tanks and stuff that were in other characters that would just do that. The main thing about the game is not only communication, is mostly catching your enemies by surprise, so you could gain the advantage with your team.
Being able to come up with different strats for the game is I feel is very crucial. If you use the same strat over and over, it's going to be predictable.
It's obviously not working, and you keep doing it. Obviously, you're going to lose.
I played plenty of games where we're on the attack. It happens a lot on attack. Yeah. Is on any map is when you're attacking, and you make the same play over and over. I particularly hate staying in a group. So I hate that when everyone's grouped up in a small room. Why would you do that? You leave yourself vulnerable, first of all, to the whatever we're defending wide open. So anybody can just go that way. And second of all, if they got a Junkrat, I hate it because then or a Bastion. You just sit there in the one corner and then you're just getting touched by bullets.
Or a Riptire or Bastion's cannon.
So Riptire, tank configuration, or Death Blossom.
Or even Diva's
self-destruct. Yeah. If
you group up, you're pretty much screwed.
You're kind of
want to group up. You want to group up.
You want to group up, but not stay crowded together. You want to kind of be in an area.
Space. If it's in a crowded room, you do not want to group up. That's what I've learned while playing Overwatch. That if it's spacious, you want to move around while also staying with your team. That way, you're not by yourself to the point where enemies will be like, "Hey, this person's by themselves." Because I've had plenty of times where I was Mercy, and like I was by myself because I just died, and the enemies were spawn trapping me, like spawn killing me. So there was nothing I could do to help.
I've had that happen,
and it's just really annoying. And it's also really annoying when like you're also playing a Mercy and May dies with you. Because I've had this happen too. And you just try to go out and she blocks the wall, and you have to try to heal your team because everyone's about to die. But no, the enemies keep spawn killing me.
So I always feel so. I don't know if you know the reason why I like to play music during the games.
It helps you keep you distracted.
I feel like it helps kind of settle the mood for me. Like I don't want to go into a game stressed as all hell. I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it because, and I've told you plenty of times when it comes to any type of games, is you don't want to go in there going in there angry or frustrated or agitated or and it's just you don't want that type of mindset because you can't think straight. You won't be able to come up or devise a plan properly if you're all flustered. So music for me helps me stay calm, helps me kind of jam, and it's even better when you got teammates who love the music you're listening to. And I have played music with their game, and then I've had someone be like, "Oh, look at the Mercy playing all the right jams," and that right there is amazing. I love open queue for that reason because a lot of times open queue you got some really chill people. It's a very open community. You got a lot of different people playing Overwatch, and it's a very good game. So I will say that we're gonna be streaming we're gonna be going live for a couple more, another hour or so, and then we're gonna end it. But
in Overwatch 2, I obviously hope that they keep the same art style because Overwatch's art style, I think, is unique to me because you don't really see a lot of games like this because this game is unique because there's different characters that do different abilities. Different abilities. There's some battle royale games that do that, like Spellbreak.
Mm-hmm.
Like one arm you can do fire, the other arm you can do
and
frost.
Paladins that have all the different characters.
And, there's a lot of ripoffs of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But Overwatch, I kind of feels like attracts me because it has a unique art style and it's like one of a kind that hasn't been ripped off anything.
So I feel like Overwatch 2 is gonna keep their same art style. I feel like it wouldn't be as popular if they kind of changed it up.
Now, if they changed it up, it would go down a lot of sales because since Overwatch has a unique style and people see like Roadhog, let's say they try to make Roadhog look a little bit more realistic. Or other people try to make a little bit more realistic, people are going to think, oh, this is not Overwatch. This is kind of like a ripoff. Because in the original Overwatch, everyone looked like a cartoon, like out of like a cartoon like show.
You don't want to play a cartoon game and then switch automatically to looking like Call of Duty. Right? You don't want that. Because then it's like, did I just switch games? Excuse me?
That's why I think Blizzard should keep the same art style.
And I'm pretty sure that they will. I don't think they're going to change when it comes to art style.
When it comes smarter than that. They're smarter than that. I feel like they know that if they switch the art style, they're going to go down in sales.
Not even. I think when it comes to any game and any, new game or, sequel to a game, you don't want to switch too much of the game. You don't want to really focus. I feel like when it comes to a new game, so when you create it, you don't want to go backwards, right? When you make progress, you don't want to go backwards. You kind of want to learn from progress and go forward. So you don't want to make an art style that's worse or different than the one it's already has. As opposed to making so when you're developing a game, right? When you're developing a sequel to a game, would you want to develop more on story? So if you have a first game like Overwatch, right, and it doesn't have a campaign or anything, do you want to focus more on art style? Or do you want to focus more on like campaign story wise, character development, stuff like that? What would you focus on if you would develop a new game
based off Overwatch 1?
Would you?
I want to keep the same art style because there is no campaign in Overwatch 1, obviously, and we already seen all the animations, so I feel like everything's kind of already into context with Overwatch 1.
So,
but in Overwatch 2, I feel like they're going to go deeper into these animations and really put things into context. And I do hope they don't add any more characters, maybe one or two, because I feel like there's already enough characters.
So I will say they already have a few characters already in line for development, and they are going to add a new character. They already have Sojourn is like a soldier type of character that's being played that's going to be added to Overwatch 2. They already announced a few characters that are going to be added, and I think they're going to continue adding characters for a while. They're just not adding any more characters to Overwatch, to the original Overwatch. When Overwatch 2 comes out, that's when they're going to start adding new characters.
Overwatch 2, I feel like they're going to keep the same characters in Overwatch 1, obviously.
Obviously, yep. They might get rid of a few characters,
maybe like Echo, maybe.
No, they're not going to get rid of Echo. Echo just got added to the game.
I don't really like Echo. She's hard to use.
Echo is a weird character. I remember when Echo first got released, he was really good and really popular.
I really liked Echo when I first started playing her, but after a while, it kind of got boring and like kind of useless. Because her only like kind of good attack. She has two good attacks. One is like she throws like those beat ball like
the orbs,
balls that like explode,
mm-hmm.
and the other is the RB move where like she does like
the focus beam. So when
her ult when she can turn into any character they want and use their abilities on the enemy team.
So did you know? First of all, did you know when you use her ult that her ult charge for the if I were to duplicate D.Va, right? D.Va when she's in D.Va's duplicate, right? Her ult for D.Va's ult recharges a lot faster than if you were playing normally D.Va.
Yeah,
it's a lot, and then it's a lot faster when you're playing Tracer.
You don't die from you being a different character, and so that your character that you replicate as,
you kind of have a second life.
Yeah, when you loses health. So if you keep that character alive and then you recharge, let's say you play D.Va and you reanimate as D.Va, and you go off on your own and try to recharge. Well, obviously trying to help the team. You can also go in there and use the other team's advantage to their disadvantage and go in with the self-destruct and try to throw them off guard. And that's what I like about Echo is that you can really use them to use her to throw the enemies off guard. And that's one thing I will give to Echo is that she has a good ult if you know how to use it. If you know
how to play Echo, I've met a lot of good Echo players. You don't really see a lot of Echoes in a lot of competitive matches. You don't really see a lot of Sombras being played either. They're kind of the low pick rate because of their abilities and how you have to play them. Sombra, you got to play really passive. You got to place your translocator.
I will use Sombra if like our team is doing kind of bad, and like I'll sometimes use Sombra to like go in, do as much damage as I can, gain my ult. Use it to get everyone to hack everyone, and then for our team to kill them, and then. But
I feel like that's only if your team is really, really communicating with you. Because if you use an EMP, you're just wasting it.
Is communicating with you, and they're doing kind of bad, and you go in with Sombra and hack everyone, and you tell everyone like go in. They're hacked. You can go in. That's a good advantage. But I feel like if no one. Like you said, no one communicates, no one talks or anything. The team just goes all over the place. People go over there, people go over there. I see D.Va going up. I see Pharah going backwards.
So I do feel like there are certain characters that are a lot more communicative than most. So like
Soldier has to be a very communicative character.
Soldier not so much, because Soldier you can really use them from anywhere and still get a lot of picks from. You can flank them, you can be up front, you can really. As opposed to like playing Sombra or
I take Soldier as in like Call of Duty in a way.
He's definitely a COD player.
It's kind of similar. And so with Call of Duty, obviously you want to be communicative.
Well,
in a way, it depends.
Soldier is just a straight damage character. Before there used to be four different rankings. There was tank, flank, DPS, and support. And they just kind of Soldier was just straight DPS. He wasn't a flank. He wasn't, anything. He was just straight DPS. Flankers are like Sombra, Symmetra, believe it or not, used to be a support. Yeah. And her gun used to heal people? No.
Just damage.
She used to have 2 ultimates. Oh. And her gun used to lock onto enemies. So, like, as soon as I got close to you, it would lock onto you, and all I had to do was just keep close to you, and wherever you went, the laser went. And
so it's kind of like Mora, because if you use, like, the damage one, and, like, you keep, like, moving towards him and close to them, their damage is going to go into your hand, obviously.
But, yeah, a lot of Zenyatta is definitely a communicative character. You need to be able to call out your orbs of harmony, who you're discorded. And it took me a hot minute to realize because if you look on the bottom right hand side, right above your abilities, when you discord somebody or you use your orb of harmony on your allies, it tells you the name of who discorded and who you're healing.
Yeah.
And so you call out like, hey, you throw a Discord on a Reaper. Hey, Reaper is discorded. You want your teammates to focus that Reaper. And a lot of people don't do that. They don't focus the right people.
Like, one time I was using your mic because I left mine at my friend's house,
Mhm.
and I was playing a game of Overwatch. And I was playing as Mercy, and obviously when you're Mercy, you want to be communicative, so people can be close to you, so you can heal them.
Mhm.
And Reaper was going off by himself, and I plugged in the mic. I was like, Reaper, if you keep going off by yourself, I'm not gonna be able to heal you, bro. There's only so much I can do. I'm only a Mercy. And he typed in the game chat, okay, bro, I'll stay close to you. And then we all just stayed together, and we ended up winning that game.
All right.
Like, I plugged in the mic, and I was like, Reaper, go on with your Death Blossom. And he goes, okay. And I did it, and he did it. And then I charged in with him to try to heal him more because there were still enemies alive. He went in, our team went in more. And that's what I like about the game, is when your teammates actually listen to you and, like, because sometimes your teammates make stupid decisions.
So I wouldn't say it's more about, this is going to be the last thing I'm going to say. It's not, I feel like when it comes to Overwatch, and I hate to repeat myself, it's communicative. And it's not just communicative. It's not just about listening. It's about being able to adjust. You know how I tell you when you play a DPS and we got 3 other DPS and I'm like, I'd rather you switch than someone else switch.
Yeah.
It's because you gotta compromise your team. If I'm talking to you and you're the only one talking to me, then my focus is my plans are going to revolve about which characters we're playing and how we're going to fit around. That's why I normally wait before I choose.
Yeah,
because I used to automatically just choose my character. Now I'll see what we're playing to see if what I'm going to play is going to fit that. That way they can't really...
If I see people, like if I see 2 DPS, I'm like, okay, this should be good. And as soon as I see someone choose a 3rd DPS, I'm like, oh no. Because too much DPS could be believe it or not, a big downfall for your team.
Having too many DPS is not always a good thing. Sometimes the best strat is
think it's good because it says damage.
But listen, the way I think about it, damage,
like
people that play...
He only has 200 health. There's only so much that he can take on before.
Last thing I'm going to say is the people who play damage, who main DPS, you people only play DPS because you care about playing the game and you want the gold medals. And I'm sorry to say, and it's a very unpopular opinion, but that's not how the game is. It doesn't matter. It does not matter how many kills you got. It doesn't matter if you... Honestly, the game just what matters is if you're working together and you win the game. The win is what matters.
The win is what matters. And
because
how you contribute in the game also what matters.
Yeah, because you could have the most kills. You could have the most gold. Leveling in that game does not matter for crap. It does not matter if you're the highest person. You can still be... You could be playing quick play and not play a single game of competitive in your entire life and still be trash. It doesn't matter about the level. It doesn't matter how many golds or medals you have. It matters about working together and getting the dub.
Yeah.
And a lot of games, and that's a lot of... For me, that's my opinion. But... All right, I will say we didn't have anybody this view, but that's okay. All right, thank you for tuning in. I will hope to see you next time. I'll give a good shout out to Aaron Costa. Also, follow my Twitch. If you see this, follow my Twitch. It's Undying Luck 37 or 34.
Undying _ Luck 36.
I'm 34.
34. Undying _ Luck 34.
Yes, Undying _ all lowercase Luck 34. That once again, that's Undying _ Luck all lowercase 34. All right, I hope to see you guys next time and enjoy you guys.
Wait.
All right.
Also, the underscore, not underscore, the lowercase letters are not added, so do not write lowercase
letters after Undying Luck 34. I don't know why.